Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Mergers and Acquisitions Blueprint. I'm Nick Stehr, here with my good friend and colleague Denis Mezheritskiy. Denis, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. So it's not fair that I'm in the Eastern time zone where it's already day. My day is at the end of it. Nobody even works this late, and you're just nice and bright. Just had your coffee, looking good there, Nick.
Well, it's broad day. I can see the window out behind you. It's broad daylight, so it's not too late yet. But this is what happens, right? When you're wanting to build an empire and build a business, that you got to do what those are willing not to do. You got to do it. And yep, my wheels are fresh. I'm actually away at the moment, and again, another example of just doing what it takes to get business done. I own multiple businesses and executing a buy and build through mergers and acquisitions at the moment and sharing some of my experiences on that with you through this process. Dennis has done more than, how many are we up to now, Dennis, in
I
terms of
mean, we,
exits?
yeah, I mean, we've done six this year, so and we're in June right now. So I'm at 90 plus in all
Yeah.
kinds of industries all over the world at this point, and we have clients. So I have pretty good insights on where this M&A space is actually going. So great to share some knowledge here.
Yeah, it's a powerful way, and this is why we decided to do this show, right? Is to share our experiences. It's a powerful way to grow wealth, a powerful way to grow your business, but it's also a very easy way to fall in a deep, deep hole when you get it wrong. And so we wanted to share our experiences, our wins, our losses. You learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. And so if we can share some of those with you, then hopefully we can help you avoid that here. Today we wanted to talk about when is it a mistake to scale, which is kind of counterintuitive. Where as a business, we're all trying to scale, grow our business, and one of the fastest way to do that is through mergers and acquisitions. But you've got to get your foundation right first, and or you're the risk of multiplying. Business is always challenging. Let's not make any mistake about that, right? It's business is always about solving problems, and as we know, our good friend and mentor JT Fox says, if you have 52 good days in a year, you're going to be a millionaire. So the rest of them are challenges. Now,
Yeah.
but if you jump on this thing too soon, as powerful as it is, it can literally set you back 10 years.
Well, a lot. There's a big percentage of mergers and acquisition, the buy and builds that then don't work, and majority of them didn't work because the company, the platform company, either wasn't right or it wasn't ready. And so I think there's a big misconception that there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of unknown risk if you don't know what you're doing. And anything you want to build, you need to make sure first that your foundation is correct. So that it's absolutely true that like even our buy and build, we're looking for a platform company, and there's a certain parameters of a company that need to hit every single box, and we don't waver from those checklists. It has to fit perfectly, otherwise we're risking, and business is risky. One bad acquisition can set you back decades. I mean, literally can set you back decades, and not to mention, damn, how expensive this could be, right? Now, this learning curve, hopefully you avoid by going through and educating yourself and listening to podcasts like this, reading books that actually make sense, and not get yourself in the pickle. Because if you any acquisition requires financing, liquidity, borrowing, your personal credit is at risk, and you can take one good business and completely ruin it,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of gurus out there that are telling us, go and buy businesses or buy businesses for no money down. But even if they're not, but go and buy businesses and grow and scale. And I think they're selling the dream. And whilst I can understand that, what they're not telling you is if you don't lock down your platform company, if you already have a platform company, you're looking to rapidly grow and scale, if you don't lock it down in terms of your systems, your process, and your people, then when you buy another business, all you're doing is multiplying your problems, and you already don't have the systems to cope. All of a sudden, the thing overflows. So you've got some examples, though, Dennis, of where things have gone bad.
Yeah, I've got a lot of examples of things that go bad. And when we're looking at the platform company, obviously our first kind of a peak of the company that is makes enough cash flow to support this business, and that the revenue is not up and down. And if you haven't fixed the revenue issue, if you concentrate on project works that are based on particular project and your annual revenue is ups and downs, that you need to make sure that you either fix it before you make the acquisition or you make the acquisition to fix the problem. But you got to be extremely careful, like
Yeah.
because you ultimately going to be getting yourself into a situation where if you're having a bad year, it could set you back on track. So I mean, revenue, having a predictable revenue makes a lot of sense. Management in place, man, it's all people is everything in the acquisition. So if you buy a company hoping that you can continue on the same pace, you can't work in a $1 million company the same way that you work in $5 million company or $10 million company. You need to have certain aspects of your management team in place. I had a client who had a phenomenal company. He was doing $14 million in revenue, a great business, but all of his management was waiting to retire.
Yeah.
The general manager was in his 70s. He was in his 70s. The salesperson was literally waiting for retirement. The office manager came back from retirement. like I mean, this is not a platform acquisition. So you're buying the company. If you come in and you buy this company, you have to replace every single key level employee. That's a lot of people to replace, and there's no structure that you can make in order to alleviate all of that risk. So management is definitely is one of them. Like what are some of those elements that you've seen in your days of doing acquisitions?
Yes, systems are huge. If you've been growing or not, I guess, grappling with trying to figure out how to grow organically, but your systems are what are holding you back. And what do we mean by systems? It's process. It's the simple things that actually give the strength of a business to be able to push through and create efficiencies. If you're highly dependent upon, you know, the knowledge being locked in somebody's head, that unique unicorn in your business that knows everything, you've got to solve those things by having systems and process locked in, documented and ready to go, so that as you bolt on other things, you can feed them into your system. And when you build these things, don't build a system for today. Build it for the business that you want to be. Spend a little bit more, go a little bit further, rather than just saying, okay, this fix our problem now, but where are we going to be? What are we going to look like? And what do we need to support that business when we get there? Build those systems now. It's going to be a lot easier to then integrate that next acquisition.
Yeah, absolutely. Those SOPs, the standard operating procedures, crucial. But I feel like if you are in a position where you're thinking about doing those acquisitions or you're buying a company, I think it's good to do a little bit of a stress test and test your systems. Do a financial audit on your business. Look from the perspective of the buyer. Do due diligence on your company. Look at all standard procedure. Is your operating manager, your CEO, COO able to onboard people quickly? Like, what are your standard procedures for hiring people? What is your turnover? Like, you do some stress test of your existing company to figure out where that is. Uh,
Mm,
I, I
mm.
I feel like in government specifically, when they do those stress tests, after the 2008 bubble, there's all of a sudden banking stress tests. You know, you should probably do some stress tests of your own and
Yeah,
see how you fit.
yeah,
How do you fit if one key employee is not there? Do you have the standard procedures documented that you can replace these employees? And what about your customers? What's your key concentration of your customers? If you're looking at quarter after quarter, what is your vendor situation? Are you very prominent to issues with supplies? What could happen, right? I've had a situation where my wife and I bought a fitness facility in January, right before right as COVID was getting started. So not exactly the funnest time of those acquisitions, but you can't predict things. Nothing happens according to plan.
Yeah.
Things you try to be optimistic. you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta be realistic on a lot of these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why you build systems for the size and the type of business that you want to be in the future, not than what you are today. Because when things go pear-shaped, and they do, then you're already in a place that you're ahead of the curve, because
Yeah,
it's like trying to pour more into a full cup. When you've got systems and process that can scale, then as you hit those rocky patches, sometimes they're unforeseen. COVID is a great example of that. Some businesses did exceptionally well out of COVID. Some businesses had an opportunity to do exceptionally well out of COVID, but couldn't, because their systems couldn't cope with the rapid scale opportunity that was there. So, building those systems and
yeah,
processes is what we found to be mission critical, and then the people, having the people that are there
yeah.
to be able to operate those systems.
Yeah, and I also think the strategy has to be defined based on your stress test, based on how your financials looks, based on where your company is. What is the acquisition strategy looks like? Are you just gonna buy whatever company just to add to the EBITDA? Are you gonna do it horizontally or vertically? Like for let's say, for example, you're operating an HVAC service company. Are you gonna buy another HVAC service company, or all of a sudden you're gonna add a plumbing division? Can your company handle a separate division with a separate layers of employees, now additional operational managers? Are you strong enough to handle that? Like you have to really plan this out up to what point. Like I don't recommend going too vertical until you're hitting at least $2.5, $3.5 million of EBITDA. You need to have sufficient platform under your belt again for those rough patches in time, because they will come. It's not a matter of it's a matter of time before they do it. It's not if, it's when. in
Yeah.
this case scenario.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think, we again go back to the reason why we wanted to start this thing in the first place. One, gives us an opportunity to continue to learn and engage with other people. But also, we've made mistakes. We've seen mistakes be made. And one of my favorite sayings is that a genius learns from his mistakes. But sorry, a smart person learns from his mistakes, but a genius learns
Yeah.
from other people's mistakes. And it makes so much sense, right? And so, you know, one person listening to this that maybe can avoid that by implementing some of these things, great. And look, we're executing acquisitions at the moment. I've just completed one now, negotiating a couple more. As we said before, Dennis, you're knocking on the door of 100 odd transactions now. Um, it's a significant amount of experience, and so we're actively looking for opportunities. If you're out there and you're looking for opportunities to grow and scale your business through mergers and acquisitions, Denis is directly involved with the M7A model. If you want to hear more about that, then get in touch. Reach out to us directly, and we can talk to you about that. If you want to talk to us about helping you through the process of setting your business up, getting ready to scale through mergers and acquisitions, then we're here to talk to you about that as well. Or if there's any topics that you'd like us to cover off, drop them in the comments. Share this with anybody that's working on it, because there's a lot of gurus out there, right? The gurus that are selling the dream, but maybe not telling you exactly what is needed to be able to make a success of this. It's actually easy to go and buy a business. Somebody's going to be happy to sell you their dog with fleas. No problem. They get it off their plate onto yours. But the trick is actually being ready and finding the right business.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to get burned. And the acquisition, for some reason, acquisitions are becoming so popular that I see all the time people just buying businesses just to add them on for purpose of cash flow. It doesn't do anything for your
Yeah,
business if your roll-up strategy is just to keep buying things
yeah.
all over the place.
Ego
Strategy
driven.
is where you need to be. Yeah, strategy is where you need to be. You need to figure out the niche of the company. The only way the value will grow through the buy and build is by concentrating on the industry that makes sense, growing your EBITDA to a level that it becomes a lot more popular for those private equity firms, and then grow it more to the next level private equity firms. Follow the pyramid. Adam Coffey's book, Private Equity Playbook, is
Yeah,
the book that describes it the best, in my opinion.
yeah. Phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. So yeah, get it and read it. But yeah, look, I think that's it in a nutshell. If you're not ready to scale, then don't. Spend your time creating operational infrastructure that's efficient and ready to go. Otherwise, you're scaling inefficiency, and you're going to end up in trouble.
Yep. A couple last things. What makes a company ready, in my opinion? Like, what if I'm looking at the company that I say, yes, this company is ready and it's ready to buy additional companies and grow through acquisition. Obviously, you need to have a plan of who's going to be the buyer down the road. Like, are you in an industry that you're going to have sell to a strategic, or is there going to be a private equity firm? Have to know exactly who's going to be on that. Otherwise, you're not structuring your company properly. So have an end in mind objective, and then what makes a good platform? A good platform is when the business owner is not actively turning wrenches in the business. So you have a management in place that you are operating the business from the above, not hands in the company. That's a platform. Company that makes at least $750,000 of EBITDA, bottom line profit. You can't start buying companies if you don't have enough cash flow available. You're putting yourself in risk. I mean, you can, but I don't recommend it. I feel EBITDA, and there might be industries where you might be able to get away with less of EBITDA, but 750,000 is really where I think you need to start. Be ready for those
Yeah,
acquisition platform. Have a steady revenue in mind, steady cash flow in mind, uh, and make sure that the liabilities on your balance sheet. This is what's interesting right now with all different trade situations going on. The companies that are not doing well are not doing well because their balance sheet is full of debt. So if you way over leverage, be careful not to overcommit to more, because that will drag you down. So those kind of my high levels without having specifics on industries. It's hard to navigate the specifics, but start with the end in mind. What is my exit gonna look like? Is it gonna be strategic? Am I gonna be a bolt-on? If I am, I don't really need all of these processes and procedures really in place because I'm gonna be stuck into something else. Is it going to be a P firm? Am I going to be a platform company? Am I building that platform, the first company? Then obviously everything needs to change and has to be directly vision of what I'm going to look like. Otherwise, you're building just a big ball of nothing.
yeah,
Yes, there'll be a buyer for it, but that's not maximizing the value. That's not
yeah.
doing it smartly.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, bottom line, M&A should be used to accelerate dominance and not distract from discipline. And I think, at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do. The hard part is we want to go fast and we want to build a business. And I get it because that's how I operate. I get impatient with it, right? It's like, oh, but I don't want to not go now. Well, sacrifice a little bit now and you'll pick up that time later on. Get the things right, ready to scale. Otherwise, like I said before, all you're doing is scaling a problem that's going to become a bigger problem. So next time, what we'll talk about is now that when you've done that, now what's next? Where do you find deals? Now you're ready to scale. That's going to be our next episode.
Yep.
Any
Awesome.
final words, Dennis?
Y- You know, don't. This is a patient game. It's gonna take time. This is not something that is quick. Be cautious of overextending yourself. Opportunity that is out there when you're ready.
Yeah, yeah. So as all the same things we're going to say here, right? Costs nothing to like, comment, share this with others. And if there's anything that you want us to talk about, comment in the notes below. The topics that you want to hear about, reach out to us directly, and we'd love to hear from you. We're certainly looking for more deals ourselves at the moment. We're actively looking to buy, build, and grow businesses, or help other business owners buy, build, and grow theirs. So reach out, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of the M&A Blueprint.